Hi, I'm Carla D. Tillery, and welcome to the Chair Chronicles. I'm your life coach and your favorite auntie. You know, that aunt that is so not afraid to tell you the truth and help you see things just a little clearer, and you love her advice. Well, as a certified life coach with over 2 decades of experience, I'm very passionate about helping you find your happiness. So pull up a chair and let's have a talk. Hello, LA.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Today's question is,
drum roll.
What is your life's purpose?
Good question. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm being serious. I don't know.
So
I'm still searching.
We're going to be on our discovery road today.
I love it. I love it.
If we can name the road we're driving on today, it's called Discovery.
I love that road. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So I think what we're going to do as part of this this conversation is we're going to ask ourselves more questions than we're going to actually have answers for.
Okay.
All right. And that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
The thing is as we go through these different questions, I want you to think about it, jot them down,
right.
Give yourself some time to sort of respond to it.
Okay.
And I think you're going to start to see things start to paint a picture when you begin to look at those responses.
Grab a pen.
Yeah.
Grab a pen and paper. Let's
go.
This is good.
All right.
Okay.
So the first thing is to think about, what are you passionate about? What is it that gets you excited? What is it that motivates you? What inspires you?
Yeah.
What are you doing during those moments that give you a real sense of joy and peace?
Good question. That's a good question.
And I think people find things that they're passionate about, and they would do it regardless of whether they got paid for it or not. So what are those things that you would do regardless? Without any monetary benefit? What would you do? And it really gets you going. It just brings you such this deep satisfaction of joy.
And that, by adding that part of it, because sometimes when we hear, okay, what's your passion? What are you passionate about?
Right. People
how do you think about
cringe.
It? Yeah,
they don't really
how do you
know.
think about it? But
right.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
So thinking about it in those terms, what would you do without anyone paying you for it? Whether anybody notices you doing it or not, it is something that you just love
it excites
to
you.
do. And it excites you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's the first question.
Okay.
The second question is, what are your talents and skills?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So your talents and skills are like your natural ability.
Okay.
These are things that you do very well. And you may even notice that they could perhaps be in your family lineage. It might be something that was passed down genetically from your biological parents.
Okay.
Or perhaps you are so unique that you break the mold.
Trailblazer.
And you don't see it nowhere in your family.
Right. Like, how did I end up with that?
But it doesn't matter. The point is to really observe those things about yourself that you do really, really well.
Okay.
Right? So it's a natural skill, a natural ability, something that you do well. You may have inherited, you may not. But again, it's something that you know that you do with a level of excellence.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Good.
And then the third question is, what are your gifts?
Okay. Now this is where we get stumped. I know for myself is, again, you just talk to us about what your talents are, what your talents and skills are. How different is that from your gift?
So they do get confused. So that's okay.
Okay.
So let me use an example to hopefully help everyone kind of clearly just have a distinction between the two. All right. So think about a singer. I think that's something that everybody can relate to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether you sing in the shower and think you sound good.
Not so much, but
think about like the TV show American Idol, right?
Example.
Or any other type of reality show about singing.
Right.
And I think a lot of times I've heard singers and I'm like, wow, they can really sing well.
Right.
They've got a good sound. They've got good tone, the way they deliver it. And it's like they have a beautiful voice.
Right.
But then you hear another contestant and they blow you away.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, something is very different about the way they sing. Like they're very like it's just something.
Right.
And sometimes you may get emotional. Sometimes it just moves you
you.
differently.
Right.
And that's the key.
Uh-huh.
Thinking about like that supernatural talent
Okay.
that moves other people perhaps is your gift. It's something
great example, great way to explain it. Yeah.
Right. It comes with ease. It's effortless. It's like, wow, they weren't even trying to sing and they just blew me away.
Right. The it factor.
The it factor. And you'll hear judges say that. Yeah. Like they're looking for that it factor.
Right.
And sometimes they'll make those predictions very early, like you're going to make it to the finals.
Yeah.
Like you've got it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So your gifts
great way to explain it.
Can look like a talent,
right?
But it is really something on top of that talent that makes it more like a super skill. It is something that really sets you apart from all the rest.
Okay.
All right. So we had 3 questions.
Yes.
What are you passionate about? What are your talents and skills?
Right.
And then what are your gifts?
Okay.
And guess what? If you get stumped, ask your family, ask your friends, ask your coworkers.
That's good. That's good.
Because a lot of times we don't see ourselves very well. We're like the hardest ones on ourselves.
Yeah.
So we really don't see kind of things that are within us and how they impact other people. So ask around and kind of see.
Yeah.
And what are people saying about you?
Yeah.
What do they say you're really, really good at? What do they say makes you special?
Yeah.
Because I think those insights from family and friends and coworkers or people that are close to you are also going to give you some light bulb moments.
That's great. That definitely was a light bulb moment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, by talking and asking that question, the question of family and friends and you know. Wow.
And you may just be surprised what they say.
Exactly.
So I've done this exercise, of course.
I was going to ask if you did this exercise because
I tried to kind of figure out, so what is it that they see and did I agree with it? So I asked my husband and he says, like, you're a really good planner. Like I plan all of our vacations. I've planned other things. And so when I really thought about the question, it took me back because when I was in high school, they gave us these senior memoir books. And in the senior memoir books is where, you know, you put your pictures of your friends, your classmates. But there also was a section for you to write out how did you see yourself in 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Yeah, I remember those questions.
Yeah. So I had filled it out at the time. And so later I was like cleaning up the basement and I found the book. So you know when you find like your old high school book,
you gotta go through it.
Yeah, I took a seat. I forgot all about cleaning.
Take me back.
I sat down and I was going through the pictures, of course, and then I looked at what I had written down. Wow. And then when I realized the date, it literally was almost 10 years to the date. Wow. And so it was just so I was having like all of these moments like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So what I read, I actually was doing. And I couldn't believe it. I said, what I had planned for my life to look like and for what I should be doing in 10 years, I was actually accomplishing those things.
That's
amazing. And so when I thought about what my husband had said about being a planner, I really didn't even realize until even after that moment when I saw my book that I had been planning my life and planning things. And so it was a skill that I had that I really didn't pay that much attention to.
Isn't that amazing?
And then I kept thinking about it. And I have planned weddings. I'm not a wedding coordinator, not like officially, but I have planned weddings. I've done probably about 4 or 5 to the point where people thought that was what I do. And they were like, oh, will you do my wedding?
Wow. Yeah.
So planning, I think, is just in my DNA.
It's in you.
It's in my DNA.
Yeah.
Right. So special events. I love planning my own parties.
Yes.
I love doing that.
And they're really good too. Yeah.
My parties are the bomb.
They are. I can testify.
So I've been a planner and for much of my life and didn't even realize. It is something that comes very natural to me. I like putting the pieces together. I like imagining things and making it all come to fruition.
Wow.
And then little did I know that I'm doing that as part of my career as well.
So it's just connecting.
It was connecting.
Yes.
It was connecting. Yes. It absolutely was. And so many people know that my academic background is in engineering. And so I actually am an engineer and a planner now, working on looking at transportation systems for
and
communities.
How different, an engineer and a life coach, you know?
Engineer and a life coach. So you know that's the other question I get. Like, how an engineer and a life coach. Like,
right.
There are two different paths.
Right.
However, they've got some very strong connections. And so when I did the exercise, what am I passionate about? What are my talents and skills? And what are my super skills? Those gifts.
Yeah.
I started to see some patterns.
Wow.
And planning is definitely one of those.
Isn't that something?
Yes. So the other thing is that so as I'm doing sort of my work in my engineering background, the thing is we think of about 5, 10, 15 years from now what the transportation systems are supposed to look like. So that's kind of like visionary, right?
Yes.
You're always looking ahead, thinking about what it should look like, and then creating like this layout and a design for what it should look like.
Right.
So I plan and I design.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Now, after you design what the system should look like, then you have to construct it. It actually needs to get built.
Right.
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 And so as part of what I do in life coaching and working with people is I help them plan, design, and then construct and live their best life. So that's how the two are connected.
Amazing. So when we hear people talk about, I guess in the last like 2 or 3 years, the big phenomenon has been create your vision board.
Yes.
And everybody, you go out and you buy out this gorgeous board and you're looking at all these different pictures that you want to put on it and all these little pop-up things to make it 3-dimensional.
Yes.
So it's more than just creating this beautiful facade of, it has to mean something. It should mean something. Yeah.
You should be putting something behind the vision, right? You should be looking at ways to actually make it come to life. Right. So you have a vision, but then you need to actually start to create a design for it and a layout for it. What is it supposed to look like? What are your steps? What do you need to do first? What do you need to do second? And then after that, then you start to actually put those things in place and respond to it so that you can actually construct it and build it. So yeah, I love vision boards. I have my own vision board. And I love revisiting it and seeing how things will change over time. Right. Because again, it's not something, I believe your life's purpose is not something that's just like one and done. I think it can be tweaked. It could be modified because you might have something inside of you that is going to move someone else very differently in a different season in your life.
Wow. We do think about it sometimes, one-dimensionally. We say, what are you passionate about? Right. Because it sounds so singular.
Right. And it's not. And if you think about it, we are complex beings.
Yes,
we are. We have a lot of layers to us.
We do.
And so to just think that we're just going to do, or our creation was just for one thing, that might sell yourself too short. Right? And if you are creative for one thing, that's fine. But perhaps there may be some other layers to it, or it may show up very differently in one point of your life than it does in another point of your life. Right. Oh, so it's complex and it's different, and it varies from person to person. And that's what I love about it. I can't look at you and use you as my model. Right.
We're different.
We're very different.
We're very different.
Right. Very different. So that's what I love about it, is that it's unique to each individual, and that we all have to take this pathway of discovering why we were created. Yeah.
And that's the exciting part. I think, not just being excited about trying to figure it out, but to really put in the work to figure it out. Figure it out. And it, like you said, it changes depending upon our circumstances, where we are in life, but we have to take our eyes off of what someone else may be doing.
What someone else may be doing.
We're unique.
Right.
We have our own DNA. We have our own DNA.
And I think the clue is that when you realize what your gifts and talents are and how it intersects with the human need, that perhaps that is the best definition of identifying your purpose.
I like that.
When your talents and your gifts intersect with the human need.
Yeah.
So what I do in the engineering field is intersecting with the need for communities to be better, have better access to transportation, right? It's for increasing opportunities for different modes of transportation. So that's meeting a need in the community. And then what I do as a life coach, working with individuals and organizations, is meeting the need of those people, and of those organizations.
Wonderful. And, I also think about it in this way, sometimes people look at lofty things. They think that, okay, it's supposed to be something that's grand. We all have something to contribute to this world.
Yes.
And it may not be something that you read about in the paper or you see that person's name in lights. It does not mean that your passion, what you're passionate about, your gifts, your talents, your goals, it doesn't mean that those things aren't needed in this world. They're needed. They're needed. Yeah.
That's right.
And they will impact someone else.
Yeah. And again,
that's great.
If you go back to the definition of gifts, I believe it moves others.
Right.
So again, this is something outside of yourself.
Right.
That is affecting to a benefit to other people.
Right. Oh
and so that intersection of your talents and your gifts with the human need, I believe that's going to start to paint a good picture, a solid picture of why you were created.
Right. Well, it's definitely helping me. It's not as complex as I always thought it would be.
We got to take the mystery off of this. Because I think if you just take some time to try to get in tune with yourself and center yourself and stay focused a little bit on like what it is that I bring to the table. Right. What it is that I bring to the world. Let's not even say table. Yeah. Let's magnify this to its real extent. Yes. What is it that I offer the world?
Right.
And then I think that you'll start again to kind of say, you know what? I'm on this path like everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Yeah. And it doesn't. It makes you even want to pull more. You want to learn more. You want to know more about yourself.
About yourself. Yes.
We never stop growing. It doesn't matter how old we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't stop growing. Don't stop asking questions.
Yes.
Don't stop the searching for a better you.
Yes.
And I think when we do that, listen, there's 7 billion people in the world.
Right. It's a lot of us out here. If
all 7 billion people were actually identifying their purpose and fulfilling it,
this world
do you know
would be
how much of a better place this would be?
Yes.
Listen, when I'm in my happy place, my family loves when I'm in my happy place.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So it's something about everyone being in that state of kind of contentment and being happy. Yes. Because then the people around you feel that. Right? They sense that. And then it's, you don't mind being around that person when they're happy.
That's right. Who wants to be around them?
When I'm not doing too good, you don't want to be. You just want to let me go.
Let it alone.
Right?
Leave it alone.
And so it doesn't mean that you won't have some obstacles in life and there won't be some things that you need to deal with.
Right.
But again, I think understanding your life's purpose has a way of helping you to make decisions at critical moments in your life because you have your eye on where you're going and who you are.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
It's a great tool for decision making.
Right.
And so because I'm starting to come into understanding a little bit more about my gifts and my talents and skills and how I can use them to intersect with the human need. Right. Then I'll know if somebody tries to pull me away in another direction.
It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right.
I'll automatically know I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not lining up. It's not lining up.
And I think that's key. You don't want to be doing something or involved in something that just doesn't lift your spirit. It doesn't make you feel good. So therefore, anyone coming around you will know that there's something wrong. It's just, and you'll feel it. You'll feel confined and just just
unsettled.
Not,
you'll feel very much unsettled. And sometimes there's a sense of feeling out of place.
Yes.
Sometimes people think about taking a different career path. People think about relocating for just a fresh start to kind of do something different or a different place because oftentimes we're in search.
Yeah. And I've heard people say, this is what I should have been doing all along.
Yes.
Yeah. Carla, this
so
is
it's
awesome.
Okay if you don't know now.
Okay.
I think just start on the path of trying to identify.
Okay.
I think I heard a great orator and author, Miles Monroe, talks about like this discovery process and that, you don't want to live life without knowing your purpose.
Yeah. I can't imagine not knowing. And that's why I'm on this continual journey. I think I've feel it here and there. I think I know where I'm going and where I should be. But I love the idea that I can continue to search and ask questions.
And ask
That's
questions.
it. Ask questions.
Yeah. And I think, again, when we start to ask the question outside of ourselves, so again, talk with family and friends and people that are close to you and say, you know, what do you see in me? Like, what do you see my skills are? What do you think I've got like this effortless ability to do? And I think it's going to be very, very telling to hear from other people. Hopefully they'll tell you the truth. Now, don't get the truth. Don't get somebody that's whack and just going to be joking with you.
Exactly.
You want somebody who's going to be like really honest.
Absolutely. You want someone who's going to move you closer to your purpose and not have you out here looking crazy.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, this was great. This is a great topic.
So I hope all of you will take this pathway into understanding your life's purpose. It's never too late to start asking yourself the questions. What are you passionate about? What are your talents and skills? And what are you gifted at? And look for those patterns, because they're going to start to paint a very good picture of your life's purpose. All right. So thank you for joining another episode on the Chair Chronicles. We appreciate you so much. If you have questions, please submit them to me. We would love to hear from you. Or if you want to tell just your personal story, we would love to hear that as well, about your story to finding your life's purpose. So please stay tuned and stay connected on the Chair Chronicles.